All right, guys, it is day 6 of the 90-day challenge to 10K. Let's just go straight into what we're supposed to be doing. It's 5:49 a.m. So we're trying to try to work for the next hour 15. So initially yesterday, I said tasks for today would be spending 20 minutes on optimizing automation and then prepping for first day of outreach. But I just modified that. I want to focus specifically on strategizing for the days 7 through 21, so that we can make structured progress. So initially, I guess just to outline it for us, I had sort of a very rough idea for what I was going to be doing. It was simply outreach, wait on disco calls. And that was it. I didn't really have an idea for how I was going to structure metrics when it came to customer acquisition costs, when it came to how many people went from lead to discovery, how many people were outreach to, those kind of things. And one of my friends had shared a book called Revenue Architecture by this person. Okay. And here they essentially just talk about how to optimize for their GTM strategies. And sure, there's multiple reasons to be reading this, but for me, I am focusing it specifically on my application here, which is this agency work. So I had a little conversation with ChatGPT and figured out what a potential route is for us to go in terms of actually discussing this and doing it for us. So that's kind of what I wanted to do today and work on. But I want to make one specifically targeted for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this really quickly. Because I want to take some notes and just figure out what it is exactly that we're going to be doing. So this is old plan, old boring plan, old plan, new plan. Okay. So let's just kind of start with where are we at? So one thing I do like to do is to have these conversations, one, to understand, two, to apply. So this is just talking about those sprints. Let's go. Driving impact sprint. So, yeah, okay. So this is for momentum, which is another idea I had, but don't want to get distracted. Okay, so basically here, we're going to have 2 micro sprints in the next 14 days, and I'm just writing it out right now, and then we can adjust as we go. 2 micro sprints. So we have days 6 through 12. Let's do 7 through 14, right? Why am I bad at math? Why is it saying day 6 through 12? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 7 days. I'm dumb. Okay, 7 through 13. I guess including that day, inclusive. Okay. And days 14 through 21. Inclusive. Cool. So here, we're going to be focusing on one single metric, one habit, and one 30-minute retro. So I'm going to do that here. So let's do our metric, habit. I'm doing redundant work. Retro. Cool. Sure. Cool. Okay. So putting fits in the bow tie, can be done before you leave for work. Cool. So activation sprint is going to be our first days 7 through 13, essentially here. And let's do this. So I know that I can imply that. Okay. So for activation sprints, and this is going to be our conversion sprint. Okay. So goal here is turning cold contacts on book discovery, and then here is turning discovery to paid pilot. So we're kind of working on a very short timeline here. This is optimistic, obviously. Goal is to get discovery calls and then convert them to a sale. So our activation sprint is just gonna write that out here. Cold to disco. Cool. And then here is disco to pilot. Cool. I don't like all the bold, but that's fine. We can leave it for now. Okay, so ground rule of how this works: bow tie stage, education, selection, sprint focus, activation, which is what we're doing here. North Star metric. Okay, lead and discovery percentage. So let's write that out here. Lead to discovery percent. Okay, that's what we're going to be tracking in these first 7 days. The amount of leads that I reach out to, the amount of discovery calls that I end up booking, and what that percentage looks like of who actually gets converted. And why this is first, without calls on the calendar, nothing else matters. That makes sense, right? Like at the end of the day, the work is the work. Okay, cool. Selection into mutual commit. Okay, so just to go back a little bit, selection, mutual commit, just for my own understanding and for others to learn from. This is me just dumping the book and learning. So let's just go here. Where is it? Build a bow tie, revenue, core theory. Yeah, okay. So what am I looking for again? I am looking for, wait, completely forgot. Bow tie. Yeah, so bow tie data model, track lead to qualified to pilot to impact expansion. Bow tie links acquisition and retention, supplying the growth formula inputs. Automate in Airtable. Cool. Okay, so let's just momentum, accountability, unified metric, scorecard, agency, monthly recurring. Yeah, okay. North Star metric chosen. Very low touch funnel. Okay. This is just a bunch of different mock-ups for potential plans. Then acquisition impact on page, drop a form, sign up for a session, 2 sessions. Referral metric on each count of people sitting on stage yesterday. Okay, so what I'm going to first do is do I have that book here? Or do I have it on my phone? I'm going to have to airdrop. Let's do that. Go to files. This is good because this way I'm actually being forced to learn, which I like. I enjoy. Oh, I actually had it already. Interesting. Okay. So let's do some reading. Y'all can see my hairline. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. So here we go. Okay, that's fine. An architecture preface. Let's go to data model. Okay, that's going to be at page 157. Can I just do that? A data model. And where is page 157? Around there because the page is probably, oh, it's accurate. Okay, nice. Revenue model. Cool. Okay. So these are all important things, but I am just working with what is completely, like, immediately relevant. Okay. Part 1, data model. Covers the entire customer journey and refers to the complete set of experiences and interactions that customer goes through when engaging with a company or brand. So I'm actually going to just draw this out for my understanding or everybody else's understanding. Overall, just a little bit more helpful. Cool. Okay. So I kind of want to let's just open Xcali if I can, if it wants to let me. Cool. I have no idea where. Okay, there it is. Okay. Yeah, let's just move. Can I just move away from this for a little bit momentarily, please? Thank you. Okay. Do I have to? I have to hue on. Sorry, guys. In the future, I will care more about setting all this up beforehand, but right now, it's not the priority, you know? It's not super important. What's important is getting the work done. So that is why I'm here. Blair. Device disconnected. Tube. Plugged in. And plug back in. I mean, obviously it's connected. We just have to close the app altogether. And now the keyboard has stopped working. Man. I wonder if it has to do with having so many things on the keyboard, like in the actual. Okay, that's fine. This works. Okay. It's probably reasonable. It covers the entire customer journey. Okay, so here we just want to have this, right? So we have the. Oh, why is this happening? Okay, has to do with connection issues, which is probably a USB thing. What can I disconnect? It's usually working. It's wasting time right now, man. That's fine, dude. Okay. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, doesn't. Let's just reset here. Move over here for a bit. Okay. So part one is like we were talking about, is the data model. Okay. Covers the entire customer journey and refers to the complete set of experiences and interactions that a customer goes through when engaging with the company or brand, i.e. us. It covers the various customer stages of initial awareness, consider purchasing, implementing, using product, and those choose for potential. Cool. As a measure standard and framework for organizing and analyzing data, it tells us that we can measure and aware, which allows us to compare GTM motions against each other, go-to-market motions. The benchmark, a reference or a standard for comparing and analyzing industries and domains. While the data might okay, cool. So let's what I there's a balance between value and impact. Okay. So acquisition on the left, right? Promise of future impact. So we have left is promise. Okay. And then right is the fulfillment. Fulfillment of promise. Okay. So promise and then fulfillment of promise, acquisition, retention, expansion. Yeah. So let's just do acquisition and retention and expansion. Okay. Now I guess the goal here is to balance the value, which is the promise, and the actual impact, which is what happens. So it's like what we're telling a customer versus what's actually happening. So on this side, we have, let's just draw a very rough sketch here. And obviously, I'm just working with the space I have right now. I'm just wanting to get the knowledge in. So we have awareness. Nice. We have this. Okay, cool. And we have mutual commit. Okay. And we have unlearning, attention, expansion. Okay. So here we have, what do we have? Awareness. Okay. Now, the reason I'm wanting to do this is specifically so I can tie it back to me. So universal template, core bow ties, left-hand value sign, which is what we're talking about here. This is the promise, right? So this is our value. Okay. Value. Okay. And right hand is impact side. So this is our impact. So left-hand value side awareness, which is what's here. This is pain recognition, okay? Pain recognition. And the reason we're doing this is because every touch point we have with a customer should tie back to one stage on this bow tie model. And that is what we're going to be talking about. So key volume conversion metrics, lead to inflow volume. So I guess in what we were talking about before, activation sprint, cold to disco, lead to discovery percentage. I believe that's going to be this. So activation and then conversion. Well, we'll see. Awareness, pain recognition. Okay. Then we have education. Okay. Which is right here. Education. And this is going to be possible solutions learned. Okay. And here we have selection, commit. Let's do here. Selection. Okay. Is where they commit to try. Okay. Mutual commit, both parties sign goals, not just contract. Okay. Mutual. Oh my God, that's horrible. Oh my God, that's horrible. Okay. Mutual. Okay. Now the right hand is the actual impact. What is driving the actual fulfillment of the promise? Okay. Here we have the onboarding, which is activation. There we go. That's our terminology. So activation, which is where is onboarding essentially first impact achieved. Onboarding plus first impact achieved. Cool. Here, percent accounts hitting first impact inside target days. Cool. Adoption, retention, impact becomes routine. So this is where we actually transition them. So adoption is retention. Impact becomes routine. Okay. And then expansion advocacy user creates new value loops. So renewal, upgrade, referral, expansion advocacy. Okay. So I should write that quickly here. Expansion. New value loops. All right. So now I just want to tie this back to me specifically. So let's do this. So going back to, kind of have to, so this part right here, medium touch motion, awareness, niche case study carousel on LinkedIn, lead magnet download. So that is pain recognition. So doing that on a scale where I show that to the public. Education, possible solutions learned, 20-minute discovery call and demo loom. That's essentially what I'll be doing. A lot of education. Discovery to pilot percentage is basically what we're going to be doing on a broad scale. So right here, discovery to pilot, which is conversion. Okay. Then we have selection, fixed fee, pilot scope, and return of investment canvas, pilot win rate, greater than 30%. Okay. This is where they commit, mutual commit, success criteria, slide signed. Okay. Onboarding, workflow live and showing first hour saved. Onboarding right here. So activation, first impact reached. So this is where we want to give them that first sense of impact for something that they've gained. Adoption, monthly impact review, revenue recap. Okay. Retain revenue. This is retention, impact becomes routine. So basically going from just first impact to what impact is happening recurringly. An expansion, cross-department automation, or upsell to retainer. Net revenue retention greater than 115%. Cool. So let's do this. Close the mechanics. Why this pizza classic funnel, form data, session minutes, client pilot metrics. Okay. So I actually like this. I'm just going to bring this out here for us to be able to reference. Okay. Let's do this real quick. Maybe just drop this in here. Nice. Okay. Do that one more time. Okay. Right here. Okay. Leave that there. Now let's go here. Let's go back to where we were. Okay. Next 14 days, each sprint has a single metric or daily habit. Okay, cool. So ground rules, why this works, education to selection. All right. So just so that we're on the same page, my awareness, education to selection. This is the goal here, activation. Okay. Is the sprint focus, which is onboarding to first impact, lead to discovery percentage. I guess that's just the name that they used, not not relating to the bow tie model. Bow tie stage is education to selection, and selection to mutual commit. So this is the area we're talking about. I believe awareness is probably more doing it on a public scale. So I guess if we wanted to say here, right, let's say for our use case, okay, here, awareness and pain recognition. This is going to be these social media carousels, or let's say blog displaying previous case studies, or what else could there be? I mean, like general statistics in good copy. But I feel like, again, here, previous case studies and then carousels of like actual pain recognition. So this is more like public motion. Okay. Education to selection, possible solutions learned. So this is where we're actually telling the lead, like, hey, this is the issue at hand. And then we want to move them to a commit, to try it out. Okay. And the conversion aspect is going to be our next metric here. Okay. That's going to be focused on the selection to mutual commit. All right. Now let's just write that out real quick so we don't lose track of where we are. So here I want to do, let's not do bold. If my keyboard wants to work with me. Okay, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to see if I can just connect this to Bluetooth, because this is absurd. And this is bothering me way too much. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, let's get back to it. All right, so here. Discovery to pilot percentage. Okay. Here we lift monthly recurring revenue fastest with no extra lead gen. Yeah, okay. Once again, boiling the ocean, fix one moment that matters per sprint. Lock the SOP, then move on. So I just want to moment that matters. Create a marginal gain by improving a diagnosis. Engagement through time. Conversation, situation, pain. Summarize. Average level engagement platform. Now we identify impact, pitch and demo, reset. Okay. Feels like being interrogated, decrease engagement, increase engagement. Okay. So let's see. Moment that matters. Impact sprint targets a single skill, the goal of enhancing a specific moment that matters greatly to the customer. While each skill uses an immediate impact, combining skills can have the overall effect. Significantly analyze, inspect the metrics and on a specific skill. Host 1 and 2 hour masterclass focus solely on the skill. Implement the skill in the field and utilize rapid iteration, evaluate various improvement. Okay. Here's the onboarding of a customer to be a moment that matters. The customer just spend money and wants to feel this is warranted. The first step is divided by the cast and the microskills to be done correctly and in the right order. In this case, when listening to a few onboarding calls, we found that by following microskills can lead to improvement with significant downstream effect. A consistent handoff between sales and onboarding using a standardized method such as spiced to get the right people from the customer to show. Okay, so this is stuff that we're going to have to work on as we get to those points. But this is just me trying to make sure I understand moment that matters. I'm TM. Small moments matter. Instead of boiling the ocean, we'll keep it simple. Customer journey based on a few moments that matters. Post the customer. Then we're going to consider how the GTM team can enhance the experience in these specific moments. Sustainability and durability. Rest of the compounding of a small action formed correctly. Type. Yep. Okay. Turns out okay, so just want to note down here that MTM, right? Moments that matter. It's deeply impactful moments to customer. Okay. Because all this is about the customer journey. Okay. None of this matters outside of that context, at least for me. So going back here, right? We want to go back here. Okay. So again, the reason we were talking about that is because we want to fix one moment that matters per sprint. Okay. So here, the moment that matters for us, I believe, is going to be the touch point of the actual teaching of the solutions, I believe. That's going to be the educational selection. So I just want to write that out for myself. Moments that matter. Okay. Pain touch point. Solution discovery. Yeah, let's do that. That's the moment that matters. And that's, I guess, the point that we're talking about. Innovation sprint. So now let's go a little bit deeper. So for this sprint, okay, we want to have the actual leads, right? So things that we need. Let's just do resources we need. One is prospect list, obviously, because we need to be doing that. Two is master template, which we have to an extent, and then outreach cadence, which I don't actually have. I'm going from a perspective of just going to be reaching out on a consistent basis, which is not specific. Cadence is low touch, and then video is medium touch. Cool. Execution rhythm. This is daily. Okay. It's fine. I'm going to go back to that. So here is what I'm looking for. So sprint scorecard. Okay. What we want here is assuming that, let's say here, days 7 through 13. That's what I said, right? Yeah. Okay. Days 7 through 13. All right. Activation is what we'll call it. Activation and moving from testing ourselves from education to commit. No, commit is the underlying word. What is the actual? Need to remember these things. education to selection. Okay. To selection. Obviously, the underlying concepts doesn't matter, but this is how we actually create a mental model for these things. So here, metric, all right. How do I do this on a daily basis that I can view quickly? Okay, so probably just want to have the metric outlined. If I want to do it by day, probably just be better to do it like this. Where am I going? What am I doing, dude? Yeah, let's erase this. Okay. So we'll probably just want to have date. Okay. And then we'll want to have leads contacted. Cool. And we want to have disco calls booked. And then conversion percent. Okay. That's kind of what we want to do here. I'm plugging it back in because this thing is starting to annoy me. So let's try that again. No. Anyways, that's fine. So we're back. Okay. Now obviously this is what our sheet look like. I'll just make right now. You tab to the right. Let's go to sheets. Oh, I was like, the keyboard's breaking again. Sheets. So let's do this. How do I want to organize it? I could do by sheet itself, sprint scorecard. Yeah, let's just make one here. So sprint one scorecard. Actually, just so I can duplicate this easily, let's do the sprint scorecard. Okay. And then daily tracking. Cool. So sprint scorecard, I wonder how this will copy over if I just do that. Ooh, we like that. Okay. So leads contacted. So these are just examples. Okay. Now just keep this empty. It doesn't matter. All right. Daily tracking. Now the way I want to do this, like we said, is just going to be date here, and then we're going to do leads contacted, disco calls booked, conversion percentage. We can keep this simple by, well, no, it's going to be, actually, yeah, because we'll accumulate it, right? Yeah, that's fine. Conversion percent. And then just for the next couple of days, so let's do April 18th and 20. Let's do the, 18th. I want to start tomorrow. No excuses. So days 7 to 13. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What am I doing? Yeah. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So right here, okay? This is day, let's just add one column to the left, okay? Day of sprint. Let's do, so just have a little bit of a 1, 2, and let's just, amazing. Amazing. That's fine. Easier for me. Would have been nicer, but doesn't matter. Let's just do that, okay? Make this all look a little bit nicer so it's easier for us to use. Okay, so leads contacted, disco calls booked, conversion percentage, okay? And all it's going to be, this is just going to be a formula. So equals divide. Yeah, one hour divided by other. Percentage is going to be this. Yeah, just like that. And then that's going to be that. And then we want to multiply that by 100. I don't care about this right now. Let's just do this. Okay, so we have our tracker. Let's see. Activation sprint. Sprint 1 activation. And we're going from lead to discovery, education to severance, education to selection. Cool. That's what this is. Okay. So I have that done. So I created my and here, print sport card plus tracker. Okay. I'm going to hit freeze cadence. There's practice, activation. We want to move to conversion sprint. Okay. Let's just go for the conversion sprint. So here, what is the moment that matters for conversion, which is going to be discovery to pilot, which is going to be selection to mutual commit, right? Yeah. Okay. So the moment that matters here is going to be this, I guess, the value. Awareness, pain recognition, education, possible solution, learned, selection is our commit, and then mutual commit is just both of us agreeing for what we want. So we're fulfilling the promise, essentially. Yeah. So moment that matters is going to be promise made plus promise made for time plus results. So resources we need here going to be what? One discovery call deck. Okay. So that's good. Pilot proposal 1-pager. Yeah, okay. So on a discovery call deck. Okay. Pilot proposal 1-pager. And the content of the discovery call deck is going to be 1, recap the pain, 2, display billable versus non-billable trade-off, pilot scope. So essentially display the workflow, which is our make.com automation, explain the 2-week timeline, and then just talk about money fixed, discussed. Yeah. And then D is joint impact plan, which is our essentially moving to the mutual commit, right? Value loop finished. Value loop finished. Yeah, that's fine. Joint impact plan, mutual commit. Civic metric plus date. That's the discovery call deck. Now let's say the pilot proposal 1-pager. Let's see what we gotta do here. So for this, we want to have the actual ROI calculated. That makes sense. Calculated X hours saved times money rate equals amount saved in revenue. Or even for us, it's going to be clients X more clients onboarded, money rate, amount of revenue increase. Okay. Success criteria. So here we just need to outline like what will make this a successful contract for the post. Successful mutual commit for both of us. We want to give out a timeline, obviously. Okay. Key deliverable dates, key deliverables, and then IC plus next steps. Cool. So we want to create this. This is for the second conversation fit. So I might even put a gap between these two so that I can plan this out because I want to start iterating ASAP. I don't want to waste time doing this right now. And then this is just going to be the actual that, and then here. This we will also just worry about then. And then schedule pilot to retainer sprint next, which makes sense because then that's going to be the next part of the loop. Okay. Automation tracking built once and then reused. So Airtable tables fields. So yeah, this is good. I need to do this. I'm do Airtable. Yeah. Simple chart. Activation percent and conversion percent week over week. And we want to reflect. Cool. It's basically a tiny factory line, raw material, 5 quality firms a day, processing, personalized 1 3-step cadence, quality check, discovery call booked, and the next line, discovery to pilot. Okay, cool. Let's go here. Okay, so edit that in the canvas. I want to have that in context. So this is, where is it? Yeah, so I want to copy here for now. Okay. Below is when you're saying what you said. There's a partnership as well. Okay, cool. Let's just copy this here. Cool. And there we go. And in the meantime, all right, here we have our prospect list, which is what we need to populate. Okay. Have the people that we're actually going to be reaching out to. For now, I'm just going to start with using Apollo, and then I'll move it into my own sheet. Loom master template. I have an idea essentially of what I need to be doing, and I have that noted down in my personal notes. Let's pull that up. Yeah. So I have my Loom script here. Okay. So that's kind of what I'll be doing. Now, outreach cadence, that I do need to figure out. And then sprint scorecard and tracker we've made. Cool. So this we have covered right now. Cool. This we have covered right now. So we have covered right now. We need to figure this out. And then 5 is we need to, what do we need to do? There's something else, but let's see. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. So in parallel, I also want to be working with partners. So we have legal clients that we'll be reaching out to, but then I want to work with partners who have their own networks of legal firms and law practices, and they can introduce me with the incentive of a percentage cut of revenue to more clients. And they'll be warm leads, so they'll be more likely to convert. So let's do this. The ground rules. Okay. Now what we're doing is we're just tying this in now. Before we had these two for activation conversion, now we have partner activation, which is just another, let's just tie that in here. Okay. Activation sprint. Let's also do, okay. Routine. Instead of writing that out, okay, let me just select 2 upstreams metrics. 1, partner signed, referral, lead percentage. Yeah, okay. Mission sprint design. Okay, prospect list no matter. This is the same. Okay. Maybe it runs in parallel goals, how part of can deliver. Okay. Now what we want to do is, okay, let's just write that out. And parallel sprint days 7 through 13. Parallel sprint partner activation. Okay, so I may actually do this for days 14 to 21 because, again, I don't want to do too much off the top. And this requires a lot of assets to create, and I don't really want to start doing that right now. I feel like that's a waste of time. Partner packet V1, which I post Airtable, partners. That's fine. Partners, table, Y, template. Okay, let's just focus on what we have right now, okay? So partners is here, right? Revenue model, this is just me asking about the different aspects of the book. Okay, so I think for right now, the next thing that I need to do that I feel is going to be very important for me is first design. Yep, average cadence. That I want to discuss here. So day 0 is going to always be LinkedIn, maybe Instagram, maybe Facebook, website, email. Probably not a website, so let's just do email, right? Now day 2, LinkedIn follow up. Maybe at some point I could have a second asset to share. Let's do Facebook plus email. Let's just do email, I think. Email follow up. And then day 4, second recap video. Maybe we can do second one. Quick recap. TLDR. So LinkedIn, again, Facebook, Instagram, email. Okay. Maybe that can be our like cadence, and then we'll figure out what we do from there. Oh, text motion video, you test that. Okay. So this is our rhythm, and the important thing here that I want to focus on is the actual here, automation tracking, built once, reused. Okay, so what I'm going to actually do is just create automation and tracking here. So I want to have a new sheet, okay? So here's the different tables, right? Let's do rename leads, all right? Maybe we'll scrap our previous one and just do it this way, all right? Activities make sense. Meetings, look and see how bad I am with Excel. Pilots. All right. So let's go back to leads. All right. First things that we want to be here are what? Name, lead, firm, persona tag. We'll discuss that. Status. All right. Then last touch date. All right. Cool. Activities. I'm just building out the exact skeleton first. Lead. Yeah. Okay. Lead. ID. Date. Channel. Step. So making sure that we're sticking to our cadence. Cadence track. Okay. Leads. Yep. Pipeline. Meetings. Let's do meetings. All right. So let's do lead ID. Again, date, outcome. Here is essentially our discovery logging. Okay. Disco log. And then 4 is going to be pilots. Here we want to have client ID. Okay. Start KPI and then the value. Right side of the bow tie. Yep. So value value fulfillment. So yeah, this makes sense. Now, I think for right now where we're at, we don't need to worry too much about how nice and pretty this looks. I can do that as I go. So simple charges, activation percentage, conversion percentage, which is what we're doing here. So this is our conversion percentage, and then we'll have that here as well. So now what I want this to do is my lead client tracker. Okay, and this is going to be in daily. This is going to be in daily as well. And then we'll just go that way. So this is going to be the actual outreach cadence. Okay. Let's see if this is something I can easily just have here on the side. You Excel nerds are probably laughing at me right now. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. Outreach cadence. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Leads, we have that. Now, just want to see here. Leads from name, contact name, role, email, LinkedIn source, personalization, note, status, last contact, index, follow-up, interest level. We don't need this right now. Let's just stick with ours. This is our actual leads page, which we'll be using, and then we'll move them over to this as needed. But what I'm actually going to do is leads, move this in here, and do our tracking in here, okay? I want to have my tracking all in one place, and we'll follow this sprint, okay? So leads, contact, disc, call, books, this is end of day, okay? This is end of day task, so say I want to do this here, so that I can have this easy for me to use less brain power with. Let's do add to new group in a day. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So this is gonna be end of day stuff, right? And then we're just gonna go here and maybe just review this once at the end of the day. Duplicate because I want to also do this at the beginning of the day. Leads, update CRM. That goes here. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's good for now. Then this is gonna be our end of day stuff, right? Yee. Upload video there. Offer investments for now. I can close this. This is just me saying that I want to get Apollo and instantly at some point. This is my offer dog. This is just where I can actually reference what I'm offering very easily. Okay. Let's see. This seems to be the simplest thing. Data, thinking back on is this has large revenue architecture like also there's a revenue model, math model, operating growth, GTM models. Okay, so canonical data model for the entire customer journey. Left is acquisition, right is retention, expansion. Placement for the classic funnel, that's for post-sales stages. Mutual commit, onboarding, adoption, expansion, funnel extends, recurring revenue begins. Therefore, you extend the funnel to bow tie. So the goal here is recurring revenue, not just one-time sales. Anchor for every GTM motion. Each motion is mapped to bow tie stages and measured in the same metrics. So this is kind of what I want to think about right now. So each motion, so for our current sprint, activation sprint, how does every GTM motion we discussed map to the different bow tie stages? I think that's fine. Foundation, medical government, on your left side governed by repeated multiplications. Chapter 7. 6.16, I actually want to do that. Let's see. I like this. Different GTM motions mapped to the bow tie, so acquisition, right? So awareness, targeting accounts, Thought leadership. Good product, no touch. Yeah, okay, low touch, thought leadership, targeting accounts, high touch. Education, sales, concept. Hmm. I like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna reference these here, actually. I like this. All right. I like this. I like data. I like looking at actual metrics and seeing how they map to things. And I like this. Yeah, that's useful. So just for our specific use case, so we know what we're looking at. Do trade-offs, balances, value promises, impacts on cost ownership. Yeah, let's do that. And then I'm going to take a break so I can pre-fudger. It's getting a little bright outside. All right. So one thing, I love O3. Been using it a lot, and it's just overall such a nice model to combine everything that OpenAI has been doing. How much GT motion you're actively using lands on the bow tie during the activation sprint. Bow tie stage, left hand, medium touch, direct cold outreach, low touch affiliate referral partner line. This is right touch level. Awareness. Okay. Edit LinkedIn DM, personalized 127. Okay, interesting. Partner sends your emails or tags you in Slack, LinkedIn post. Education, follow up email. Okay. Selection, first clear, yes. Prospect clicks, Calendly, boost every call. Mutual commit happens in next sprint pilot scope, joint impact plan. Onboarding expansion out of scope. Medium touch relies on content personalization, low touch service partners velocity. Okay, so the moment that matters for the activation sprint is the discovery. I guess, yeah, it makes. Oh, look at the wrong one. Nice, okay. And what is the habit that I'm working on for the activation sprint? The habit is basically what we're doing. 23rd. Wow. Man, okay. They're tempting me. Minute mark. Research 5 new managing partner leads and drop them into the leads table. Yep. Record 5 personalized on Tony typing rooms. Yeah. Yeah. See, I think the biggest part of this whole journey is breaking down things into basics. Okay. This is the micro actions we do. This is what matters. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pray Fudger. I think this is it for right now, at least. If there's more to this video, you'll know. If not, thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow, we start day 1 of the activation sprint. Bye.